breakdown in norms of civility. Whether the cause is party sorting or an ideological shift away from the centrist views that facilitate compromise, deep political divisions have bled into everyday social life in a way that exacerbates our sense of pervasive conflict. Americans no longer trust one another, and their loyalty to a political party has superseded their loyalty to country or any set of norms or principles that used to provide common ground in political debate. Take, for example, political scientist Lynn Vavrek's finding that Americans were far more likely to say they want their son or daughter to marry someone of their preferred political party in 2017 than they were when the same question was asked in 1958. Americans increasingly report that they actively dislike members of the other party rather than merely disagreeing with them. So much so that they geographically self-sort into politically homogeneous neighborhoods and towns. Modernity, materialism, secularism, and some other cultural transformation has left America without the mores and values that used to prop up its governance. Race antagonism and a failure to recognize America's systemic sources of racial inequality further alienate minority communities and increasingly drive political polarization. Without proper cultural undergirding, American politics has become a divisive, hollow cesspool where it was once a place of honor and a point of national pride. Op-eds calling for more or different civic education in America's classrooms point to how a lack of historical knowledge and civic skills drive distrust of the American project. Some argue that our political culture lacks reverence for America's history and traditional values. Others see American politics as oppressive and illiberal. Either way, whatever cultural grounding America once had is now lost. Another set of scholars and pundits blame corruption in its many forms. The system itself is not broken. Rather, abuse of power, the undue influence of money in politics, or an out-of-touch elite have led our politics astray. Far from the greatest generation, our current leaders, they claim, have taken a worthy system and contorted it into a source of power and personal benefit. Be they billionaire super PAC donors or young, newly elected representatives in the U.S. House of Representatives, those in charge of America's public policy have used it to pursue their own narrow agendas without regard for popular opinion. The solution to our nation's woes is to elect different, better people to higher office, or to return to a fairer or more just form of democratic politics. For still others, institutional and constitutional failure is at the heart of what ails us. Following the divisive presidential elections of 2000 and 2016, and polarizing Supreme Court decisions on guns and gay rights, increasing numbers of citizens have, as did their progressive forebearers, called the U.S. Constitution outdated and unjust. Originalism, they claim, reveals the errors of the constitutional text and holds America back. Separated powers, unequal U.S. Senate representation, lifetime Supreme Court appointments, and an indirect method of presidential election were all intended to stymie public choice in ways that are undemocratic or reflective of a bygone era. The Bill of Rights is out of date, and the racism and sexism embedded in the Constitution discredit its political theory.